Hi, everyone. I am EstaRa with a message for you this week. It is Tuesday, September 6th, 2016. And I know last video and message that I put out there, I let you all know that I've not been feeling well, and I gave you some updates into the new moon energy. Um, well, the good news is I'm finally feeling better. The bad news is that I wasn't. I wasn't feeling well for the whole weekend, and I'm finally like now that the holiday weekend's over, I am recovered, but I wasn't, and I had to cancel some more clients. So those of you who respect and honored me during this time of being sick, I appreciate you understanding. I also thank you for all the well wishes and all your thoughts that have been sent to me or given to me. I truly appreciate that, and believe me, I do feel the love, and I'm grateful for that. Um, so, quick update: I really believe that I had some kind of virus. I'm at the tail end of it, is what I want to say. And I believe it was complicated because it wasn't just a virus. It was also the electricity, the work they were doing electrically here in this area. I believe that it compounded what I was physically feeling. It also is my twin. I believe he's going through some belly stuff because I had some belly stuff, and I feel like he was suppressing and stuffing stuff down. And when he does that, I tend to feel his stuff. And I'm not sure if you know exactly what I'm talking about, but a lot of you who are empathic, a lot of you who are um, you know connected to spirit in a way that intuitively your twin flames energy, which I would say most of you who are twins do know this. You probably feel, and you might not even realize that you feel their stuff. But I always feel my twin stuff. It started several years back. I want to say almost 10 years ago. I remember I had out of nowhere. Like it was, a Saturday morning and I had absolutely no voice whatsoever. And out of nowhere, I'm like, wow, I can't even talk. I can't even do a session. I can't work with anybody. So I had to cancel my day because I lost my voice. I had like laryngitis. And it went on until Sunday night. And then Monday morning, my twin called me and I could hear like leftover congestion and stuff. And I said, how you doing? He's like, oh, I had a really bad sore throat all weekend. And I'm like, oh, it was your fault that I had no voice? Oh my goodness. So that actually has amped up in the last several years. I feel even more than I used to. And I'm usually quite in tune with what is going on with him. So it's kind of interesting that sometimes I know this is totally him and it's not me. And the simple thing that you can do is say, "Is this mine?" And if it's yours, it's gonna stay. If it's not yours, it'll start to disperse and leave. If it's your twin, this is the funny thing is, yes, it will disperse and leave, but it'll come back, perhaps. Sometimes it goes away for good. Sometimes it comes back because there's a message there for me too. And so I believe that him not feeling well amped up what was going on with me, and I'm sure that what was going on with me amped up what was happening on his end. So that's a little brief thing update about my physical well-being. So thank you again for all your well wishes and prayers. I appreciate that. So let's get on to some information. So Sunday evening, I was doing some meditation work and I was connecting with spirit. And one of the messages I heard really clearly when I was in like this quiet space of anchoring light and grounding myself into the earth. And actually, I was sending healing out to the Standing Rock Sioux in North Dakota that are standing in protest of the pipeline, the Dakota Access Pipeline. I'm not sure if any of you are aware of that or what's happening out there, but I really highly recommend that you check it out and look into that because it really impacts all of us. Many of us don't think it does, but the effects of fracking are long lasting, permanent, actually, quite honestly, permanent, and they are destroying our earth and they're destroying our water supply. I know that it doesn't seem like it impacts you if you're not directly in the area right now, but let me tell you, if you know basic science, please, please, please recognize that groundwater is where we get our water. And if groundwater is getting contaminated, it seeps into the rest of the ground and it will contaminate everything around it and it will carry itself outward. So please pay attention to that and stand in support of them if you can. If you are close by there, please go and help support them. But if you're not, honestly, just sending a little love from your heart into theirs, that would be really awesome. And they need it and they can use it. And, they're standing up for themselves, but they're standing up for all of us, everybody on this planet who drinks water. And this is so, so important for all of you to check out as well. So please do that. But anyway, I was sitting there doing healing, sending some healing, and really anchoring myself and connecting with them that I could actually hear like their ceremony going on. It was pretty intense and amazing. And when I was coming out of it, I heard a very clear message, and this is for all of you. The words I heard were reunions are nearer than you think. And I was like, wow, what? And then I heard again, unions are nearer than you think. So I hope that like resonates throughout your whole body because I kind of reacted to that a little bit. I felt a little lighter and a little like happy dance inside. Um, but how amazing and powerful is that little simple message that they're nearer than we think? And so I think the time for that message is really apropos and appropriate. I've been getting a lot of emails from people telling me they're struggling with doubt and uh, uh, self discipline in terms of staying in the focused and positive and staying in high frequency and high vibration, and that is a really big deal because I definitely we have been inundated with the dark energies on this planet. I mean, they have been really intense the last few weeks, last couple weeks, and I actually feel like they are still thick and heavy, and I'm really conscious of it in our environment around me and in my day-to-day life. I actually believe that while I was not feeling well, the electrical work they were doing was like something funneled through the dark to like amplify the energy in my area because it put me a little down and out, where I didn't feel very good. But I have to say that, lucky me in some ways because being sick, I don't actually give too much credence to the doubting, and I don't actually think about, oh my gosh, this isn't going to happen because I don't quite honestly have the energy or the physical well-being to think about any of that. So I feel like, with with being sick, I had the negatives of, I was sick. But at the same time, I've had the a great um, ability to stay away from the doubt. And but I do know many, 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 many people. I'm sorry, I was like falling off my. I have a ball I'm sitting on, and I was like falling, and I love this ball. So many people have been really afflicted, if you will, by the energy of doubt and insecurity about what's going on and what's happening. So I want to give that message to you that unions are nearer than you think. And that pertains to me, it pertains to you, it pertains to everyone who's a twin flame because I actually believe that even those that might not be reuniting in the next month or 60 days, it's funny, I don't know where those numbers came from, but that's what I heard. Um, I feel like even if that's not you at that time, believe me, it's closer than even you think. Okay. So those of you who feel like I haven't had contact with my twin in a very long time, I haven't spoken to him or her, I haven't had any interaction, or I've not met my twin yet. I know my twin etherically, but I haven't physically met my twin. I want you to hear those words. Union is closer than you think or nearer than you think because it's coming. It's coming. That's what I want to say. And the more we come together, the more we come together. So the more each of us comes together individually as couples, we will come together, come together, come together. And so it just grows out and ripple like a ripple effect. So I feel that really strongly. It's just maintaining your vibrational frequency through this heavy, icky, dark energies that we are in and going through. And my goodness, let me tell you, lots of stuff has been coming up for me over the weekend. So I had a dream that I was really angry at these two people in my dream, like really angry. And in the dream, I like yelled at them, so out of my character, by the way. I yelled at them and screamed at them about how dare they mistreat me, disrespect me, and blatantly lie to me, And it was really interesting because the two people that were in the dream not only represented the people, the real people, but it also represented um, people who have mistreated me, who have disrespected me, who have not listened to me, and have really been harmful to my energy field, to my well being, to my personality, to my self esteem. And I say harmful because the reality is we allow in what we allow in, right? But of course, if we have this unworthiness belief, or we have this belief that I'm not deserving, all that stuff that sits underneath below us everywhere that will creep in when someone disrespects or treats us that way. It's interesting to me that I had this dream because I feel like it was about me in my power and realizing that. you know, I can do this. And in the dream, basically, the two people left me alone to kind of quote unquote fend for myself in terms of like negotiations with this other group of people. And so this other group of people came with like one leader, if you will, and like there was four others of them. So there was five of them and one of me, and there was supposed to be me and three other people. So it should have been five and four. It was five against one, and instead of having the assistants there and me, I actually yelled at them in the dream. I was so angry. And when I woke up, I realized these are a couple people that I still have some anger issues with. And I say anger issues, not like blatantly angry, but inside of me. It like I could feel the repressed anger and the frustration. I also feel like it ripples to my twin because I feel like he always suppresses and represses his anger, his emotions, and he's always the good guy, and he never wants to sound out of place. So if any of that sounds familiar to you, this is some of the stuff that's kicking up. So that's how it kicked up in my world, in my reality. The Mercury retrograde energy, always like having you reflect or going over things. I really feel like the stuff that's coming up during this time is really giving us like a new perspective, giving us the ability to like look at who we are and determine if this is how we want to continue. So when I think about that dream, and I'm sharing this because I feel like on some level you can relate and you can understand it. In that dream I was angry, and when I woke up I realized I don't have to tolerate that anymore. That's unacceptable behavior, and it was okay in the dream that I was angry, screaming and yelling because that's a dream. But in real life that is not how I would approach it. But in real life I have to choose differently with these people. Do I work with them again? Do I allow them into my sacred space? And can I really trust them? And what's interesting, I just said the word trust, and I really feel like a lot of trust issues are coming up. And I'm being guided to share some of that with you. So, trusting, big, 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 big word. Trust, especially with your twin. And my twin. I feel like trust is a really big deal. Like, we've been hurt a lot, without them and with them, and the back and forth with them. So learning to trust again is a really big deal, and I feel like that is one of the huge themes, if you will, that's coming up for us. And that's why I think so many people are having doubts, and so many awakened twins are doubting, is this even real? Do I even make any sense? And blah 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 blah, all that stuff. And here's how I can tell you in my life how it's affected me a little. So trust is one of the big things that I recognize that I need to deal with my twin. I need to trust him, and I need to let him know I trust him, and I need to trust me, and let him know that I do trust me, and that I could share what I want with him without feeling like what I'm thinking or saying may not make a difference. But if I'm feeling it, I should just say it. And it's funny that I say that to you because sometimes I don't have that issue at all. And then sometimes it is an issue for me. And so I'm recognizing that is still kind of an issue. So one of the interesting things that I think about is like last week, so I was sick all last week. And quite honestly, I just didn't have the energy to deal with anything because I didn't feel good. And I did a lot of sleeping and, not sleeping. You know how you go to bed and you just lay there and you're resting and you toss and turn, or you watch a movie. Like I had a couple things on my TV. I put a movie in and I would sleep in and out, and I'd wake up and I'd be like, oh, let me rewind because I didn't see it. And then I'd fall back to sleep again. Well, that's what my week was like. And so, in some ways, it didn't matter that I didn't hear from my twin. However, it did matter that I didn't hear from my twin. I actually missed him. I wanted to hear from him tremendously. He is like important to me, and it's important that I do hear from him. And I know that he's got things happening his way, but it made me feel like, oh, well, what the hell? So one of the things that I had just said to Spirit, I'm like, am I like crazy? Like, is this ridiculous that I want to hear from him? Like, is it even real what I'm thinking, or am I just making all this crap up as I go? And and funny, sometimes I feel like I am, but I know that it's not true. And I got in my car, and like literally the first three cars I saw were like our initials, and I was like, oh God, that's totally a sign. Well, at first I'm like, oh, that's a sign, that's a sign. But no, is it really a sign? Can that really be conceived as a sign? I mean, I could make anything a sign with my initial and his initial, right? And the next thing I saw was a truck with like my initial with an and sign, an ampersand, and his initial. And I'm like, okay, well that means that just answered my question. That really is a sign because I can't dispute that one. That one was way too powerful. So you know, when that happened, I let go and I was back into trust. Now, here's the other thing that I want to say is so if I am being sick, I just like said, okay, that was a sign, and I went on and went back to being sick. And then that would be that's the end of it, really, because then I didn't stay in the doubt. I didn't linger there. I didn't think about it too much. And then I've had moments where I thought about it. Like I performed a wedding ceremony last week. Mind you, I was not feeling well and I still had to do this. And I'm sorry for moving on you. The ball is moving on me. And I don't want to end the video because I feel like I have stuff to say. So, I that's another thing I do. Part of my business is to officiate weddings, and I did this amazing Celtic wedding that I just loved doing. And watching the wedding, seeing all this love there, and actually experiencing all these different people with just an energy of love around the room. And it's different than what I usually feel. So that was kind of cool to experience that. But then I was sitting there alone, because I stayed and I joined them for dinner. And as I was sitting there, I was looking around and I thought, where the hell is he? Like, why isn't he here with me? He needs to be here with me. And I thought, oh, how cool would it be for us to have like, um, do weddings together. Like him and I do the wedding together up in front of everyone. How cool would that be? And so all those little thoughts came through. But the heavier thoughts were like, where the hell is he? Like, why am I here alone? This is ridiculous. And why isn't it my wedding that I'm planning? And why isn't it my wedding that I'm attending, not someone else's? And that's not to diss the weddings I've been to and I've written and done. I love doing that. It's beautiful. But I'm like, where's mine? When's it my turn? So that kind of creeped in. Now, here's what's interesting. You know how that creeped in? I eat sugar. I don't eat sugar, but I've been eating sugar. So I was craving sugar. Being sick was not a good thing for sugar. But they had desserts, and one of the desserts were these amazing chocolate truffles, which, by the way, were so phenomenal that I would have taken more home. I would have taken them home with me. I ate like 4 or 5 of them. They were like they weren't really huge, but I ate 4 or 5 of them. That sugar is toxic chemicals to my body. And yet I ate it. And I have to tell you, since I ate that, I've been craving it, which is not good. I'm craving sugar now just from having those 5 things. I've also been eating, foods that I don't normally eat. I'm really on a very low carb the way I live. And so if I'm eating a little bit of carbs like potato chips or potatoes, that is a sugar. And so it makes my body crave sugar. So having that sugar, I'm telling you all this because it is like toxic. It literally had me go home depressed. I was actually depressed after I ate the sugar. And I thought, holy crap. It didn't occur to me until 2 days later, of course. But I went home and I was like in a spiral going downward. And I was so grateful. A friend of mine answered her phone and I was like, oh my God, are you there? Can I talk to you? And she talked to me for a little bit and let me kind of blah, like kind of jump on her from the evening. And that helped me to release, number one, but also it helped me put some things into perspective. So when I woke up the next day, I was feeling a little better and I wasn't in the funk. And by Sunday it had occurred to me that all the sugar I ate was affecting me. It's kind of a drug. So I'm saying that for all of you. So be conscious of your sugar intake. If that's something that you do, I think it's really important that you pay attention to how it affects you. I know a friend of mine eats sugar and is extremely emotional the next day. Well, for me, it made me negative or doubtful, let's say doubtful, because I wasn't really negative. So anyway, that's some stuff that's been happening, and I just want to bring that into your awareness and your reality so that you can kind of look at what's happening in your life and what might be coming up and affecting you. So everybody has different issues, different things. We all have like issues during Mercury retrograde. Lots of things happen. So for example, I've had a lot of phone issues, a lot of computer issues, and again, I wasn't feeling well, so that kind of pulled me away a little bit. So I want to do a reading for you. I did not end up doing like a new moon card reading because now it's like several days later and it didn't make any sense to do it now. But I am going to do a reading for this week. Oh, sorry. I am like moving around here. I before I went on to video, I picked the cards. I didn't turn them over yet, so I'm going to turn them over now. And so I'm pulling 3 cards: one for the divine masculine to represent the divine masculine, one to represent the divine feminine, and one to represent the overall union. Okay, so the first card, let's do the divine masculine because I want to see where we're at. Okay, so we have for the divine masculine, we have the Child of Wands card, if you can see that. So you can see the child up here. He is flying high. Look at that. I got to tell you, he's flying high on top of a butterfly. So when I look at this card and I really look into it and what do I feel for the divine masculine for this week? To me, this is he is grabbing hold of who he is. Like all the stuff that's kicking up inside of him, I feel like it's helping him. And I say him again, I always want to clarify that when I say divine masculine, I refer to him, but really divine masculine could be a feminine, a female energy also. It's just the counterpart in the twin flame couple that is the divine masculine representative. So that's what I mean by that. So when I look at him here, he's flying high. He's rising above. He's connecting to his spirit because he's outside of the globe. If you see, he's outside of the earth. He's up here. So he's up in the universe. So to me, he is attuning to his highest frequency. He's attuning to who he truly is. He's attuning to his spirit, and he's pulling that back in. And if you can see, he's got his hands on this. So he's trying to rein it in, pull it in, because he's really expansive and huge. So he's really in transformation and change right now. And it really makes sense to me. My little story that I said just a few moments ago about how I felt like my twin was not feeling well, but like he was pushing something down or repressing something because it was causing bellyache. So, for example, like acid reflux is repressing. We're repressing our voice, repressing something about us. And I was having some acid coming up through me, and I'm like, I don't understand what this is about because I don't usually get that. But then I look at this card and it feels like he stopped repressing, but he was repressing over the weekend, and he was repressing over the last week, I should say, stifling himself and shutting down emotions, feelings, perhaps, or words, or not speaking his truth fully. And so when I look at this card, it's like he is grabbing hold of his spirit and he is ready to fly with his spirit. And I also think that what this is about is like he needs to reach this new height. And, you know, for those of us not with our twin right now, he needs to reach a new height. Because if you think about it, if he doesn't reach it on his own, he can't do it with you always because then he'll never know that he can do it himself, right? So he needs to reach it on his own. And so I feel like this time right now, he is reaching up and he is reaching for his spirit and he's reaching for the truth of who he is. He's pulling it in and he's riding it right now. He's riding this new embodiment of his. Because I always talk about how last month was like embodying the new person and now he's trying it out for a ride. That's exactly what this is. Think about it. He's on a butterfly transformation, change, trying it out. Let's see where we're going to go here. And then you look at the earth and he's like getting ready to bring it back into the earth. He's not quite there yet. He's still kind of flying high in his energy world and he's flying high on his connection to spirit and realizing his connection to spirit, if you will. So to me, that's the huge awakening that we have been wanting to happen. And he's doing it on his own. He doesn't need us to do it. He's doing it, just so you know. And we are doing our part the way we do our part. But for them, I believe our divine masculine is really riding the wave of change. And it's coming fast and furious. If you look at it, he's holding on. Okay. It's a happy card. By the way, he's got a smile on his face. All right, let's pull the feminine energy. Okay, the feminine one. Wow, I think we got this for the feminine recently. I don't know. You'll have to correct me because I don't remember. And it's not often I go back and look at my videos. Once in a while, I'll listen to them as I'm uploading it so I can hear if it makes any sense. And I laugh sometimes. I'm like, oh, do I make sense? Okay, the divine feminine, the card that I'm looking at right now is Two of Crystals. So when I look at the Two of Crystals, I see the female up on top, she's over here, and the masculine down here. And I feel like she's looking at him like, what are you doing? Where are you? Why are you not here? And I feel like this really represents the self doubt I was just talking to you all about because, you know, um, we're like, he's looking away, but it's not like he's looking away from us. He's looking inside of himself. So when I see him looking away, my feeling is his focus is not all on the divine masculine is not all focused on the divine feminine right now. It's all focused on the divine masculine. What do I need to do? What are my next steps? If I keep looking at her, then I am putting my energy over there and I'm taking away from what I could use for me to go forward. But if I keep looking over there, I'm distracting and not making the changes. So I feel like this card here is very representative of him kind of looking inward, and we're sitting there like, where the hell are you? Like, it is taking so long. I'm doubting things. Things are coming up. I'm doubting, I'm doubting, I'm doubting. But I see the one swing back there for the two of them to jump on, and it's a bright, bright light if you look at that. So I see it's up ahead, and it's a matter of both of them looking in the right direction at the same time. And with her focus, I feel like needs to be on the future. What do you want to happen? What do you want to see happen? Rather than what's he doing? Where is he? Why isn't he here? Why isn't he calling me? And oh my God, he's with somebody else. Oh my God, he must be talking to someone else. Oh my God, all these things. I'm just throwing words out there. Um, Rather than focusing on, oh my God, what if? Or oh my God, he is blah, 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 blah. You can fill in the blank. I'm sure you have many opportunities to fill in the blank. I feel like our focus is about this because I am so totally drawn to the light and the swing over here. Oh, I'm very bad at this whole thing with the video thing. So I feel like this is where we should be focused on the future. And what I mean by that is focus on the end result. Like, you want to come together, but don't focus I want to come together. Just see yourself together. Know that you're already there. You're already together, and start imagining. Use your imagination and visualize the life that you have with your twin. That's going to bring his face more towards you because he'll done his work here and he's ready to zone in right where you are. So I encourage you to listen to your soul, but listen to your third eye, because let that be the tailor of your dreams, if you will. Allow that to guide you, because I feel like looking forward to the future is what's going to bring the future to you versus holding on to where is he. I'm doubting myself, all that stuff. Try to get out of that energy and bring into yourself into the high vibrational frequency, like I've been saying, but make the move forward, looking forward. Okay, and the last card is the quickest one I'm going to do because it's very self-explanatory, and I swear to God we had this recently too, and maybe I didn't, and it's in my dreams, but I feel like we did. This is the Guardian Angel card, and if you look at it really closely, of course, if I can get it to stay still for a moment, it's a guardian angel over the two children, the masculine and the feminine. And to me, this is you're in divine and perfect order. You are totally protected. This union is sacred and safe, and you will be having it. And as my guide said to me, the unions are nearer than you think. And when I look at this card, what I am drawn to, ironically, I am so drawn to the ring, the halo. It's like a ring to me. And I feel like the ring is being brought, the union is being brought in. And it's funny, I don't actually ever remember noticing that there was a halo in this card. Oops, right up here, and I am like drawn to that so well, and everything comes full circle. And so, what's interesting to me, quick little brief thing, my interactions with my beloved is very similar to how we were falling in love at the beginning and really connecting with one another and recognizing who we were. And then we've had years of I have no idea. He had moments of clarity, but had no idea who I was, and blah blah blah, all that stuff. And I feel like it's coming full circle. We're coming back to where we were and falling back in love again. And I think that's for everyone, to come into union and to unite. I feel like that is really, really key. And, like a ring, it's a circle that has no end. And so there is never an end to you and your twin flame. Please know that and trust that it's never far away. The other things that I'm drawn to on this card right now at this moment, speaking to you, are the flowers and the document, award, I don't know what you want to call it, but the flowers to me means bringing gifts. And the document to me is like your reward is coming. And I actually think I did a card with a reward recently too. So I feel really, really positive about this card and how it overall views the unions. So I hope this reading helped you. I hope it gives you some guidance and some clarity. I hope that some of my words of wisdom were there for you and helped you out a little. And I promise to be back with another video. I wish you all well. Many, many blessings for a beautiful union. And if I can be of assistance or service to you, please, by all means, contact me. I look forward to your messages, and I love the comments, so thank you for that. That gives me encouragement to keep going and not to give up and not to stop on this, because sometimes I'm like, you know, does it matter what I do? And I believe it does because I had such beautiful feedback thus far. But sometimes, I get into that space. We all do, get into that space. Is this real or whatever? So if I could be of assistance, please feel free to check out my services inside the link below. And in the meantime, blessings to each one of you for a wonderful union. And I activate divine love within me now. I send love to you all. Namaste. So much love to you all.